The river wakes with the first light of morning. A massive hippopotamus rises slowly from the water, its skin shining beneath the sunrise. From a distance, it looks calm, untouchable, a giant that has nothing to fear. But the real battle isn't happening above the surface. Hidden around its ears, tucked beside its eyes, buried deep inside the thick folds of muddy skin, dozens of tiny ticks refuse to let go. One after another, they feed quietly, taking blood from an animal powerful enough to crush almost anything that crosses its path. The hippo dives again. Water rushes over its body. It stays beneath the surface for a moment, before rising once more. The ticks are still there. The water cannot wash them away. Its enormous size offers no advantage against enemies this small. For a creature that can dominate the river, this is a fight it cannot win alone. Then something changes. A small brown shape glides through the morning air and lands gently on the giant's head. There is no fear, no struggle, only a quiet pause. The tiny bird tilts its head, as if studying the battlefield. Its bright red beak moves toward the hippo's ear. One quick peck. One tick disappears. The giant doesn't move. Instead of chasing the visitor away, it simply waits. For this little bird, the workday has only just begun. The little bird doesn't waste a second. Its breakfast isn't hidden beneath the grass. It isn't waiting in the trees or scattered across the riverbank. Everything it needs is already standing in front of it, alive, breathing, covered with parasites. The oxpecker begins moving across the hippo's broad, muddy head. Tiny claws grip the rough skin with surprising confidence, holding steady even as the giant shifts beneath it. Every few steps, the bird stops. Its sharp eyes search every wrinkle, every crease, every place where a tick might be hiding. Near the edge of the ear, it finds another one. The bird leans forward. One quick pull, another parasite is gone. Then it moves again, patient and methodical, never rushing. Each step reveals another place to inspect, another chance to find its next meal. For the hippo, each missing tick means one less mouth feeding on its blood. For the bird, every tick is simply another bite of breakfast. Neither seems to question the arrangement. One survives by carrying parasites. The other survives by removing them. The morning remains quiet, except for gentle splashes from the river and the soft movements of the tiny cleaner as it continues its careful search. But even the smallest worker cannot keep going forever. Soon, it leaves the giant behind for a moment, disappearing toward the nearby riverbank. The oxpecker lands beside the river where the water is calm and shallow. Its work has only begun, but even a tireless cleaner needs a brief pause. The bird lowers its bright red beak into the water. One drink, then another. Nearby, a dragonfly slips silently through the air before vanishing beyond the reeds. The bird steps farther into the shallows, letting the cool water surround its feet. Suddenly it shakes. Droplets scatter in every direction, flashing in the growing sunlight before falling back into the river. For a few quiet moments, there are no ticks to pull and no giant waiting beneath it. The oxpecker climbs onto a moss-covered stone. Now, another task begins. It carefully straightens each feather, one after another, running its beak through them with slow, deliberate movements. Nothing is hurried. Every feather is checked before moving to the next. A bird that spends its day cleaning others must also care for itself. Only then is it ready to return. Across the river, the hippos are still waiting where the water gently carries them. The sun climbs higher. Its light spreads across the surface until the entire river seems to glow. Soon, one enormous body begins rising once again. For most animals, that sight would be a reason to stay away. For the oxpecker, it is another invitation to work. The hippo lifts its massive head above the water. Without hesitation, the oxpecker flies back. Its tiny claws settle against the wet skin before it carefully walks along the side of the giant's jaw. Every step brings it closer to one of the most powerful mouths in the river. Yet the bird shows no hesitation. It knows exactly where to go. Inside the hippo's mouth, small bits of plant material remain caught between the teeth. The oxpecker stretches forward. Its red beak reaches inside. One quick pick, then another. The hippo doesn't react. Instead, it stays perfectly still. Its heavy eyelids slowly drift closed as the little bird continues working only inches away from jaws capable of incredible force. The contrast is impossible to ignore. A creature small enough to fit inside the giant's mouth, working calmly where almost no other animal would dare to stand. For a few long moments, nothing happens. No sudden movement, no panic, no struggle, only complete trust, built through countless quiet encounters like this one. The Oxpecker removes one final piece before stepping backward. Only after the bird has safely cleared the edge of the jaw does the hippo slowly close its mouth. The moment passes as peacefully as it began. There is no chase, no warning, no sign of fear. Just another ordinary task in an extraordinary partnership that has become part of life along this river. But the day's work is far from over. The giant still carries many more unwanted passengers. Leaving the hippo's jaw behind, the Oxpecker hops onto its broad, muddy back. From here, the work starts all over again. Flies drift around the giant's ears, never staying still for long. Deep inside a thick fold of skin, another tick hides almost completely out of sight. The bird pauses. Its head tilts slightly. For a brief moment, everything is still. Then, one precise strike. The tick is gone. Without hesitation, the Oxpecker keeps moving. It crosses the hippo's back a few careful steps at a time, stopping only when its sharp eyes catch another tiny shape clinging to the skin. Each parasite removed is followed by another search. Another pause. Another quick pull. The routine never truly ends. The hippo remains almost motionless, allowing the little worker to continue without interruption. There is no sign that the giant is counting each tick that disappears. It simply stands quietly while the bird continues its slow patrol across its body. Then the Oxpecker suddenly lifts its head. Something farther along the river has caught its attention. Across the green water, a group of buffalo graze peacefully near the riverbank. The bird spreads its wings. Within seconds, it is airborne again, leaving the hippo behind as it glides low above the river, searching for its next workplace. The morning's job may be finished for one giant, but another one is already waiting. The Oxpecker crosses the river with steady wing beats. Below, fish disturb the water's surface with gentle ripples. Nearby, white egrets move slowly through the grass, picking their way across the wet ground. The little bird flies past them all before settling onto the back of an old buffalo. The search begins again. This time, the task is different. Instead of bare, muddy skin, thick fur covers much of the buffalo's body. The Oxpecker hops from one spot to another. It pauses, looks carefully, then reaches deep between the coarse hairs. Another tick comes free. Its routine changes very little, even though its new partner is different. Wherever large animals gather, opportunities often follow. From hippos resting in the river to buffalo grazing nearby, the Oxpecker simply moves wherever parasites can be found. For the bird, each tick is another meal. For the animals beneath its feet, each missing parasite may bring a little relief. Neither animal calls for help. Neither bird asks for permission. The work simply continues, just as it always has. By now, the river has become fully alive. Every corner seems filled with movement, and while countless other creatures begin their own daily routines, the Oxpecker quietly continues its own. By midday, the river is buzzing with life. Kingfishers dive into the water before rising again with incredible speed. Egrets step carefully through the weeds along the shoreline. Dragonflies skim low across the shimmering surface, their wings catching flashes of sunlight. Yet among all this activity, the Oxpecker remains focused on only one thing: finding the next parasite. Before long, another Oxpecker arrives. Now, there are two. Without getting in each other's way, they spread across the hippo's body, each searching a different area. One works close to the ear. The other moves slowly along the neck. Together, they inspect every fold of muddy skin with remarkable patience. Flies scatter whenever the hippo gives the slightest twitch. Another tick appears. Just as quickly, it disappears. The giant continues floating almost silently, with only its eyes and nostrils rising above the water. The birds balance easily on its head, their tiny feet resting on skin that dwarfs them completely. It almost looks peaceful, but their work demands constant attention. Every step requires careful searching. Every movement may reveal another hidden parasite. There is no finish line, no moment when the job is truly complete. Because in this river, there is always another tick waiting. From a distance, the partnership looks almost perfect. A small bird finds food. A giant animal loses unwanted parasites. Both appear to benefit, but nature is rarely that simple. The oxpecker does remove ticks. It also pecks at soft tissue around an injury. Because of that, this relationship is not seen as completely one-sided. The bird can help. It can also become an irritation. For the hippo, the choice is never entirely straightforward. Having a bird walking across its back is not always comfortable. Every peck is another reminder that something is touching its skin. Yet, allowing the bird to continue may still be better than carrying dozens of blood-feeding ticks. So the giant remains still. Not because every moment is pleasant, but because the alternative may be worse. That quiet decision says something about life in the wild. Survival is not always built on perfect partnerships. Sometimes it depends on accepting an imperfect balance. Neither animal owes the other anything. Neither behaves out of kindness. Each simply does what allows it to keep going for another day. And somehow, that is enough. As the afternoon slowly fades, the river begins to change once again. The bright light softens. The water grows calmer. Another day is drawing toward its end. As the sun begins its slow descent, the river settles into a quieter rhythm. The golden light stretches across the water, softening every ripple. One by one, the hippos sink deeper beneath the surface, until only their eyes and nostrils remain visible. The oxpecker is still there. Its work isn't finished yet. Patiently, it watches the giant's head, searching one last time. Near the edge of the ear, another tiny tick is hiding where it almost escapes notice. The bird leans forward. One quick pull. Then, silence. The hippo exhales slowly, barely disturbing the water around it. The oxpecker lifts its head and pauses. Above them, a line of egrets crosses the evening sky, disappearing into the fading light. For a brief moment, neither giant nor bird moves. One survives while carrying parasites. The other survives by removing them. From a distance, it may look like a peaceful friendship, but the truth is more complicated. Their relationship is not perfect. It never has been. Even so, it continues because, here in the wild, survival is often built on balance rather than perfection. Tomorrow morning, when the first light reaches the river once again, the hippos will rise from the water, and somewhere overhead, the red-billed oxpecker will return, ready to begin the same quiet work all over again.